And then I'm going to be reacting to a whatever clip here. Not 100% sure what it's about, so let's get it on.
You're now, that's back to what the woman wants. How do I benefit?
How do you benefit?
Yeah, how do I here?
Your
list,
heirs,
so
your
hold on.
children.
I can list out all
Yeah.
the negatives. Tell me why, as a male breadwinner, I should get married.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to.
No, but what are the okay, if you're making a case for marriage, if you're arguing for marriage,
Yes.
aside from contending,
I mean, I will say, from my perspective anyway, I'm as a born again Christian now. I honestly believe the benefit of marriage is that it is on God's path, and your marriage will be protected compared to a relationship where you're not married. Not perfect, and I know people are gonna get really mad with what I've just said, so I'm not gonna clarify much further than that at the moment.
with my criticisms, what are the pros? Why should I, as the man, get married, as the male breadwinner?
You don't have to, but
That's not what I'm asking you.
Because
I know I don't have
it'll
to.
be easy. I think you're cutting off a lot of very traditional women that you're expecting to find.
That's actually,
I mean, that's a logical point for Brian. If anybody doesn't, Brian does want a traditional woman, but is against marriage. So he's kind of like, I don't know, not helping his own case really, long run. I do agree with her. So solid point from her.
I think that's
Yeah.
compelling to a degree.
Yeah.
But that's not enough.
And have you talked to a family law attorney to get all of the laws and specification for the state that you live in? I would want to ask all, I mean, I'm not there, I'm not getting married, I just divorced. But if I were to remarry, I would want to talk to the family attorney and say, okay, I need a bulletproof, legal in all 50 states, prenuptial, very blanket, prenuptial, what are my options? I would want
Right.
to educate myself on that before I get married.
So, I mean, ultimately, I guess you're right that the laws vary state by state. And I don't have like in-depth knowledge necessarily about specific outcomes or specific laws, but I have a baseline understanding of marriage and divorce laws in the United States.
Yeah, we'll just like say just to clarify my position as well, even further. I'm aware that the divorce laws and marriage is kind of stacked against men. To be fair, it's a huge gamble, but I am firmly of the opinion now, definitely as a Christian, that it is the most preferable form to take the relationship with somebody who you do want to be with for for forever. I would say, to be fair. But even as an atheist, I don't know. I would still hope that I'd be able to appeal to people's better nature and just say that like the marriage would be overall more conducive for the relationship as long as you are both putting each other first, not yourselves but each other. But yeah, I'll continue from that.
I know, for example, that prenuptial agreements aren't this magical contract that means you're going to have a good outcome in the event of a divorce. You're still going to get financially fucked simply by virtue of having the marriage. You're going to get lawyers involved. That creates an expense right there. It creates a financial liability immediately. If you do get married through the court system, then yes, you have to get a divorce if you want to separate. That is going to cost money. Whereas, hey, okay, we don't want to be together anymore. Well, okay, we got to figure out the child legal situation, but that would be the only legal component should you have children. If you're married, then the divorce comes into play. Then it's like, okay, we got to untangle our money. If we bought a house together, if I earned things during the marriage, if I had fucking Bitcoin, you're going to grab my fucking crypto. You're going to grab part of my assets. You're going to grab all these things. And so again, I'm asking you, why should me as the
Yeah, I mean, it is a rational point of view, but for me, it's still in the cup half empty sort of mentality, where I really think if you're on God's path and you are both putting God first in the relationship and then trying to put each other first after you put God first, It will work, in my opinion, but we'll have to see about that.
Man, the male breadwinner, get married.
I'm the woman and I paid it.
Okay, so just to be clear, I understand that the laws also do apply to women too, but I'm asking from as it is the case that generally speaking, men are the ones who get fucked in divorce. Generally, women can get fucked too.
Yeah, of course, and I think you'd have to be a clown to argue otherwise, to be honest. And women like to do this whole thing where they go, but not me, and like. That's the sort of an anecdote. So it's not really conformative to the trend. So you are being like a wild card and not being representative of what's being discussed does not invalidate the argument. Sort of annoying that we still have to keep hitting on this.
Women, if the woman's making more money and the man's the stay-at-home dad or whatever, yeah, the woman would be paying alimony, would be losing money, would be in a financially bad position.
So I guess,
but that's not what I'm asking. I guess if you want to divert it to the gender thing, why should the breadwinner, why should the person which is mostly men, why should the person who makes the most money out of the two, why should they get married?
Well, I think you would have to be fully educated on it. I don't know enough to speak intelligently about it yet because I haven't talked to a attorney about the prenuptial legalities and protections. And if you review it every year and you can amend it every year, I'm sorry, but it's going to be very difficult to contend something that you just agreed to last year.
Wait, what?
If you have, in my opinion, I don't know enough about it, but in my opinion, you have a prenuptial agreement that you both agree before you get married is going to get reviewed every year for any changes, if any, and you agree to it every single year.
I have no idea. I've never been married, I will say that. So I have no idea about this whole prenuptial agreement and if it revised or whatever the correct legal parlance might be for that.
What does that mean? How is
she going to defend or contest it in a court of law when she just signed it last year, even if you've been married for 20 years?
That you're not communicating.
Well, okay, so what he's asking is, like, how do the benefits of getting married outweigh the benefits of not getting married? So he's listed all of these benefits to not pursuing that government contract. How is it getting married outweighs that?
Because there's a solution to that worry, I think.
No, there's not.
By speaking to an attorney that knows a little bit more.
It would not be beneficial for you to get legally married, and especially if you're not a Christian and you have someone who has the values that you like and they want to be with you. It would not be advantageous for you to go into a legal contract with a woman who brought nothing monetarily to the marriage. That is 100% true.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad that we've changed the flow then, because I was wondering if I might have to end the video pretty soon. But she's added new life into it, and I agree with what she's saying so far.
That may be a deal breaker for her, but when you find the right one, she might be like, "Hell yeah, Brian, let's do it," and you may be with her 50 years and have 10 kids. You just don't know.
My belief is, my perspective is that.
Yeah, to be honest, I think Brian just is lazy in looking for women. He's trying to look maybe in his immediate vicinity in California, and that's probably not really a very clever idea. If he were to maybe spend a bit of time seriously, spending a bit of time away from the podcast and trying to seek out a woman, I think he'd be able to find one of these kind of women he describes that has certain qualities. But I don't know why he just grinded away on his podcast. It's probably not going to happen.
If the woman only wants to be with me on condition that we have a governmental marriage, like a legally, like through the courthouse or whatever, she's just not that into you. She ain't the one. Further, now, if I want,
I will say I'm not going to pass judgment there. I kind of think as a Christian I should probably say do it through a church instead. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm maybe aware that not everybody listening to this will be a Christian. I think you should be though, but you might not be at the minute.
I wanted to date a woman who, maybe I think I'd be okay, say she was Christian or whatever, and she wanted to have the ritual.
Yes.
Without the corresponding legal complexity.
That was it.
Obviously, some states there's like common law marriage, and I
Like
believe
domestic
if
partnership.
you were to like hold yourself as if you were married, you would technically have a common law marriage. But in California, and there's other states too. I don't know the breakdown of all the states that have common law marriage or whatever.
Yeah.
California doesn't. But yeah, okay. You want to have like a ritual. You want to have. I guess I'm okay with that.
Just a profession of love, you know, like your relationship.
If she really wants it, I guess
Yeah.
we could do it in Vegas or
Like
something.
vows under God in church somewhere.
But
Yeah.
actually having a legal
Not beneficial
government
for
marriage,
Yeah.
absolutely
Not
not.
necessary.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely not. Wouldn't do it. There's pretty much the only reason you should do it. I mean, I would say
Anyway, so what I'm just going to say is, yeah, I don't know. Don't know what to do as an atheist. I kind of think that you should just really try and manage to get to yourself to a point where you agree that God is real and come to the church and get married as a Christian properly. Because I am very firm on this now, that I truly believe that if you're having sex outside of marriage and like doing other such sinful things, it draws you away from God's embrace and pushes you towards the enemy's embrace. So you can only really have sex inside marriage if you want to feel close to God's embrace. And that is something I think I wish that everybody could feel and embrace. Such a beautiful feeling. And it's hard for me now to suggest to atheists any other sort of course of action. I'll leave this video here at the minute if you want to check out the rest of it, because it's 28 minutes long. I've only watched 7 minutes of it. I'll leave the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for stopping by.